Tri-Brigade is an extremely common deck in Master Duel. Being featured in the Star Walk Force booster pack only adds to its popularity. Not only that, but it meshes well with other decks such as Zodiac, Lyrilusk, and Lunalight, so you're likely to play against a deck with Tri-Brigade cards in it. In today's video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know about Tri-Brigade so you're best prepared for when you have to play against the deck next. Tri-Brigade is comprised of 4 main deck monsters: Fractal, Nerval, Kit, and Karass, all of which share an ignition effect while face up on the field, where they can banish Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast type monsters from the graveyard to then summon a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast Link monster with the same Link rating as the number of monsters banished. While the card pool for this is rather large, you can generally expect these monsters. For Link 2s, you have Farragut, Bearboom, and Double Dragon Lords. For Link 3s, you have Rugal, Samorg, and Doomeagle. And for Link 4s, you just have Shurig, the Ominous Omen. There are no Link 1s. Keep in mind that after any of the Tri-Brigade monsters' effects have resolved, they are unable to use monsters as Link material except for monsters of the Tri-types, being Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast. However, they can still Link summon into monsters that aren't Tri-types, such as Almirage, Appaloosa, or Access Code. Additionally, these are special summons, not Link summons, meaning they weren't properly summoned, so they aren't able to summon them back from grave with something like Tri-Brigade Revolt. It's also worth noting if you're running cards like Monster Reborn, Shark Cannon, or any of the Charmer Links. Before we go over what these monsters do, let's first talk about the other effects of the main deck Tri-Brigade monsters. Fractal, who is searchable off of Tenki, can send himself from either the hand or field to the graveyard to send any Tri-type from deck to grave, not just Tri-Brigades. So if they send something like Cobalt Sparrow or Lunalight Kaleidochick, you can generally make reads that they have cards like Warbler or Barrel Canary or Lunalight Tiger respectively. Keep in mind that they can use both effects in the same turn, so if he's on field, they can banish monsters from grave to summon a Link monster, and then use his effect to send himself from field to grave to Foolish a Tri-type. Note that if you negate Fractal on field with something like Impermanence or Valor, and they attempt to use his effect to send himself from field to grave to Foolish something, it will resolve negated, as cards resolve where they activate, and Imperm and Valor both negate his effects on the field. Kit and Nerval both have trigger effects when they are sent to the graveyard. Kit can send any Tri-Brigade card, and Nerval can add any Tri-Brigade monster. Kit will be sending Nerval a majority of the time, but versus the Lyrilusk deck specifically, you will occasionally have to look out for cards like Oath and Rendezvous. Keep in mind that Nerval is searchable in the Lyrilusk deck through Recital Starling and Cobalt Sparrow. Both of these cards are useful in that even if their effects on field are negated, if they were normal summoned, they can immediately be linked away into Almirage to get their grave effects. You'll notice that all 3 of these have been normal summons, which is where Karass comes in. You can special summon him from hand by discarding any Tri-type. So a lot of the time, this is what Nerval is searching. Additionally, if you discard something like Kit or Nerval, you can immediately activate their grave effects. From this, we've learned that all of the Tri-Brigades have one glaring weakness: effect negation. Cards like Impermanence, Valor, Chalice, and Droplet are some very good generic options to combat the strategy. Keep in mind that a lot of Tri-Brigade lists are running Droplet themselves, so if you have a monster on field, it's sometimes best to shotgun your effect negation so that they don't dodge it with their Droplet. In addition, as they are all ignition effects, quick play removals such as Paleozoic Dynamicius, Compulsory Evacuation Device, and occasionally Ice Dragon's Prison can be used preemptively to prevent them from activating. Another extremely targeted option is Artifact Lancia, however it's hard to justify in a best of 1 setting. If you play a deck like Drytron that can search it with Benten, or Dragon that can search it with Heraldic Seal plus Union Carrier, it might be worth considering. We also learned that the engine provides 2 pushes a turn between their normal summon and Karass's special summon, so when you're playing against the deck, it's important to try and end on 2 forms of interruption when possible, as once even a single Tri-Brigade resolves, their extra deck cards allow them to snowball into a lot more advantage. With that being said, you're not always going to have the tools to stop them from playing, and sometimes you're going to have to go second. So let's go over what these monsters are actually summoning. Starting with the Tri-Brigade, you have Farragut the Baron Blossom, who has an effect where you can special summon any Tri-type from hand. This is especially good in the Lyralist deck, as Blossom can trigger Lyralists such as Warlord, Cobalt, and Wagtail. Additionally, when Blossom is sent to the graveyard, they get to draw a card and then return a card from hand to the bottom of the deck. While not seemingly useful, they can use it to draw an interruption, return engine requirements to the deck, and then is occasionally just used so that you aren't exactly sure whether a card they've added through the course of their turn is still in their hands. Next, there's Bear Broom. His effect allows them to discard 2 and then special summon a level 4 or lower banished Tri-type. And then when he's sent to the graveyard, he can add any Tri-Brigade spell or trap card from deck to hand, and then they have to return a card from hand to bottom of deck. Also, after they use that effect, they cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for Tri-Brigade monsters. Almost 100% of the time, they will be adding Tri-Brigade Revolt. This is the last relevant Tri-Brigade main deck card, but it's arguably the most powerful card in the entire engine. It allows them to special summon any number of Tri-types from either their grave or banished zone negated, and then immediately link summon into any Tri-Brigade monster. Keep in mind that they can't summon back improperly summoned links like the ones summoned off of Tri-Brigade effects, and that they will be summoning back cards like Kit and Nerval to immediately get their grave effects. This brings us to Shureg the Ominous Omen. On summon, he gets to banish any card on the field non-targeting, and he can also trigger this effect anytime a Tri-type is special summoned to their side of the field. However, the effect is once per turn. Additionally, if he is sent to the graveyard, they can add any Tri-type from deck to hand with a level less than or equal to the number of banished Tri-types. Not only is he really good interruption with Revolt, but he can be used offensively as well. During their turn, they can use a Tri-Brigade, banish 4, summon Omen, banish a card, and then use the Tri-Brigade and Omen to make a Link 2 of their choice, either Blossom or Bear Broom, and then search a card with Omen's effect. The last of the Tri-Brigades is Rugal. He's a Link 3 with 2 effects. If he's sent from the field to the grave, all of your monsters lose 300 attack for each monster type they control. However, the main reason he's run is for his first effect, which allows him to special summon a Tri-type from their grave during your main phase. It'll be returned to the hand in the end phase and its effects are negated, but a lot of the time they're summoning back Kit and Nerval, who will trigger in the grave even if you clear them. And secondly, it triggers the effect of Omen to banish a card on the field. Then there's Double Dragon Lords. He has a quick effect in which they can send one card from their hand or field to the grave and then target a card you control and return it to hand. This combos well with Rugal because you can send a Kit or Nerval that you revive to get their grave effects. They can also send a leftover Tenki that they have. It can even send itself as cost to play around cards like Chalice or Droplet. He also gives himself a 500 attack boost, so if you do happen to negate his effect, he'll go from 1600 to 1100. Doom Eagle. He gains 2400 attack if you have no monsters in your graveyard, which will put him at 4400. Secondly, he has a quick effect that targets a monster in your grave and shuffles it in a deck. While not relevant in a lot of matchups, if you play a deck like Striker or Eldritch, it's definitely worth knowing. However, the main reason this card is run is because it turns any Tri-Brigade into a free access code. So if your life points are ever lower than 5300 and they're banishing 3 with their Tri-Brigade, be prepared. Lastly, there's Samorg. While mostly only run in the Lyralist build, it's not unheard of to see it in Pure. It cannot be targeted, as well as Winged Beast that it points to, and during the end phase, it summons a Winged Beast monster from hand or deck whose level is less than or equal to the number of unused spell trap zones on the field. The main targets being Apex Avian and Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. They will generally run one or the other. However, it's most common to see Avian nowadays. Keep in mind that Nerval is a Winged Beast monster, as well as all of the Lyralist. Also note that it can be used during your end phase, so if you don't clear it, it's free value for them. Now that we've gone over the Tri-Brigade engine, how it works and what it summons, here's some other cards worth considering. We already went over Valor, Impermanence, Chalice, Droplet, Dynamiscus, Compulse, Ice Dragon's Prison, and Lancia, but some other cards to consider depending on your deck strategy include Gamma, Solemn Strike, Breakthrough Skill, Nibiru, and Ash. Nibiru and Ash being slightly limited in their utility, as Ash only hits Fractal, Tenki, Nerval, as well as some of the cards in the Lyralist build, where Nibiru is basically only usable versus the Lyralist deck and occasionally the Zoo variant, as pure Tri-Brigade ends on Appaloosa Revolt within 5 summons. Floodgates are also extremely good versus the deck. Because they are so varied in their types and attributes, they essentially get hit by everything. Rivalry, Gozen, There Can Be Only One, and Skill Drain all are very high impact, even going second. I hope this helped. If I missed anything, or you have any further questions, or if you want me to do a separate video on any of the different variants, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and have a great day. Thank you and goodbye.